Hello and welcome. Before we start diving into my stats, let's have a look at what's been in the news for Hearthstone. And boy, has it been a busy week. This week has focused heavily on the upcoming expansion, Voyage to the Sunken City, and we have gotten a lot of information. I'm not going to sit here and break down all the details, but some of the key points are we got the full breakdown of what to expect with the next rewards track, including all the cosmetic items we can get between free and the paid Tavern Pass. On top of that, we now know all the cards coming out with the new expansion, with the drop of the final 45 cards. During the last week, we have also had two patches. The official 23.0 patch and a 23.0.1 patch to fix a couple bugs came out a couple days later. Looking further out, not only do we now know that this is the year of the Hydra, we also got a look of what to expect over the next 12 months. There's no new game modes on the horizon, at least not publicly announced, but it looks like they got a packed year ahead. So we're kind of coming to the end of the news section, and I could go into a lot more detail, but I don't think it's really needed where my videos are at the moment. But there's one more thing I want to mention as a friendly reminder. If you want to be able to open your pre-order packs early, don't forget you can host your own fireside gathering. Now, this is something that's been around since the beginning of the global pandemic, where Blizzard allowed individual people to host their own fireside gathering as they can't get out and go to group functions. There's a few videos out there on how to set it up, but once it's all up and running, all you got to do is go into your pack manager and just start opening your new packs so you know what you're going to have before the official release. I've already done mine. During my pack openings, I opened 5 legendaries, which was, I guess, above average given I only opened 85 packs. And it's given me a bit of insight as to what I'm going to be playing day one. And now that we're finished with the news, let's have a look at my time with Hearthstone. Okay, so let's head across to my tracker. Now, this doesn't track every single game I play because I do play some games on my mobile, but I did manage to get 50 games tracked for this week. Out of those 50 games, I had a 38% win rate, which is lower than I would like. However, it is the start of the season, I'm playing a few decks I don't normally play, and I just want to have a bit of fun. Now, moving across to the spread, I played 19 games with Buff Paladin, 12 games with Ping Mage, 10 games with Quest Priest, and I managed to get a few games in with Warrior and Warlock. Now moving across to my opponents, I had a pretty good mix of opponents with at least one from every class. However, there was a lot of Druid at 11 games, Priest at 8 games, and Hunter at 7. Overall, my most played deck, as mentioned before, was Buff Paladin. My best deck was also Buff Paladin, and my fastest deck was Quest Warrior. And finally, my slowest deck was Quest Priest. And then we can zoom down into the percentages for win-loss matchups, as well as showing the number of games. So that's the overall stats. Let's go look at my most played deck, Buff Paladin. So this was the version I was playing. I'll also leave a copy of the deck code in the description of this video. And I found it to be a really, really good deck. All the cards pull their weight. You just keep trying to buff your hand, buff your board. Try to control your opponent a little bit, but the bigger you get, the more you can pressure face, and the closer you get to victory. Setting up a good Blessing of Authority is key, and if they happen to counter the first one or two, if you time your cards right, Sunwing Squawker can always be good to follow up. Overall, I did quite well against Demon Hunter, Mage and Paladin. Not so great against Warrior, Warlock, and Rogue. Mage and Druid were not that great as well. But with all decks, they have their pros and their cons. And if you've got the cards and are sitting on the fence, I recommend giving it a go. Just be cautious. Some of the cards are going to be rotating out with the upcoming expansion release. I think I'm going to keep this video relatively simple and only just focus on my most played deck this week. But as the weeks go on, I'm hoping to be able to cover more decks in these videos. I guess we'll start looking into next week. So, what can we expect in Hearthstone next week? Well, we have the release of the Voyage to the Sunken City expansion. That's due out on the 12th in most places. That's going to see the removal of the 3 oldest expansions from Standard, as well as a core set rotation. Of course, I'm only focusing on what's happening with Standard because that's where I'm playing at the moment. There's going to be a shake-up in Wild. There's a few things coming to Battlegrounds, along with the Mercenary changes later in the season. Personally, I'm hoping to reach Diamond 5 before the release of the expansion. That's not guaranteed. As long as I'm having fun, I'm not going to worry. I'm still going to push for Legend by the end of the month, and the month is still young. This kind of starts to bring us to the end of the video. I'm still trying to work out the format here. I want to start doing more informational based videos and less game highlights, but these videos take a lot of work. I'm still developing a lot of skills, and it's going to take time. If you're interested in what I'm doing, please consider subscribing. Liking this video or leaving a comment also helps. Thank you for watching, and until next time.